Yeah. Hello, fellow South Africans. I would like to unpack this thing for you. I've read an article pertaining a popular figure in our country, in the space of music. To be precise, it's Black Coffee. Is a DJ and a producer who's popular, known worldwide in the globe, being booked with 5 million per gig. That is equivalent or that tantamount to one horror charging like 5 million. So I've read an article pertaining her former marriage that embroiled Mbali Mlotshwa, the ex-wife. Um, this is how this story unraveled. I'm trying to divulge it by saying Black Coffee paid Lobola in 2011 to Mlotshwa family, which is Mbali Mlotshwa's family, her ex-wife, his ex-wife. So, and then they stayed together for just a fraction of like 6 years. And then from that time and so forth, propelling forward, which is 2017, then they decided to have like white wording. And then from that time and so forth, that's when they then began to sign the contract of marriage, which was a prenatal marriage. So this is what is so bewildering and appalling, that on the article it was written that Mbali Mlotshwa she had to appear in court to prove that Black Coffee paid Lobola, which is equal to traditional wording. So they got married in terms of traditional. And according to our Roman Dutch law, which is our constitution that governs this country, it stipulates as follows: that if you paid lobola or any form of traditional wedding, a wife, that type of marriage, it's equal to community of property, even though you cannot call that as a black person. There's a huge distinction that distinguishes the procedural process between white people and black people when two different genders engage and embark on establishing a relationship. With that having said, I'm trying to say, in terms of black procedural protocol that they follow when they establish that type of a relationship with the in-laws, people go there and pay lobola and wait for almost about maybe a year, some 2 years, and then they got married, right? So the most outrageous thing that took place there is that the Black Coffee paid lobola, which is traditional marriage, in 2011. Fast forward, in 2017, they decided to have a white wedding. That's when they began to sign a prenuptial marriage. And then in 2019, things went south. They had conflicts of interest, quarrels, and so on and so forth, which basically exacerbated the conflict up until they decided to go separate ways. Right. And then they further went to court for Mbali to claim all of the assets and possessions that belongs to her as a person who's been the partner of the husband, which is Black Coffee. And then fine, the court ruled using this prenuptial marriage. But fast forward, later on, and then Mbali discovered that when someone pays lobola and wait and not marry you and don't sign any formal ticket or certificate of marriage, so that is equal to community of property, right? Of which it gives an advantage to the wife to go back to court. Hence, Mbali went to court to attest, to prove that Black Coffee paid a traditional lobola that tantamounts to community of property. Because according to her, she believes that it was unfair. She felt being paranoid that Black Coffee didn't pay enough money according to Black Coffee's net worth, of which we all know. If we could just shift a little bit further to Google and try to assess, evaluate his net worth, we will find out that Black Coffee's net worth is almost about 60 to 70 million dollar, right? That tantamounts to converting to ZAR, which is South African rands. It tantamounts to close to 1 billion. It's 700 something billion. It's 700 something million, which is very close to 1 billion, right? Somebody took advantage to say she took the man back, she took the ex-husband back to court to test, to prove that they got married traditionally, which is equal to community of property. So with that having said, Mbali having access to claim half of Black Coffee's net worth. That is why he went back to court to prove that they were married traditional marriage, which is equal to community of property. Even though the husband, when they got married in the form of a formal paper document, he chose prenap, but she used the old way, because remember, black people, they don't consider marriage just a day after paying lobola. They still wait up until the white wedding to seal the whole procedural protocol of marriage. So now, I think in this particular scenario, Black Coffee has been taken advantage of. And it's just a popular narrative if people go separate ways, especially females would like to derive more resources, more things from a male side that tantamounts to assets, possessions, money, and so on and so forth. So I think the court adjourned and ruled by Black Coffee is owing his ex-husband, his ex-wife, almost $30 million, which is equal to, I think, 400 million, if I could put it that way. That is just an estimation. It's not an exact number. So I would say I would like to highlight and enlighten black brothers there. Whenever you paid lobola, just know that you just automatically committed yourself into community of property. So you should be very centered, you should be very considerate. Whenever you paid lobola, just be ready to sign or categorize that type of marriage. It shouldn't be an automated thing, because it might happen that you don't sequester or support this community of property. Probably you just maybe a prenuptial type of person. You resonate more with prenuptial marriage than community of property. So guys, I would say this is the solution to preempt or either to circumvent this whole tragedy, so that you cannot be a victim of being derived resource from by your ex-wife or whatever the case may be. Make sure that the minute you pay lobola, don't let 6 or 3 months pass without signing the exact document that signifies and resembles what type of marriage that you've engaged onto. I've just thought I've made myself clear. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely one.